All right, let's go ahead and get started tonight. We have a very full schedule. So we're going to open tonight's first public hearing, Community Block Grant Program application, Ladies of Charity, Calvert County. And I'm going to turn it over to Joanne at this point.
Ladies of Charity are here in support of the resolution. Talk a little bit about the application. Tom couldn't make it tonight, so. Block grant requires for the town to pass a resolution under the town's name. Charity would be the subrecipient under. Okay. All right, so the background is the new, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll talk in my outdoor voice. Okay. Okay. All right, so we're talking about resolution 23-02. And it's for the Ladies of Charity application for a CDBG grant. Now, normally the town of North Beach does not qualify for a CDBG grant because we don't meet the LMI requirements. But the services that the ladies provide does meet the LMI requirements. So we're helping them apply. The application will be an amount of $740,000. The total project cost is $1,140,000. And like I said, it includes the removal and demolition of the existing facility on Dayton Avenue. No one's been around there, you should ride. With a new facility, and I believe it to be 2 stories. Am I correct, ladies? Okay, 2 stories. And so that's the basis of the application. Just to give you a little bit of history, they were established and began in 1968 with 16 members and has been operating as a food pantry at the current location for more than 30 years. So I feel like they're really established in the community and we shouldn't have any questions moving forward. They distribute more than 4,500 pounds of food per week, and they're open 7 times each month. So they service mostly the elderly, the low income, and children, families with small children. So that's basically the gist of it. I mean, you can read and go through this as you need to. But what I want to say is we have to do this as part of the agreement with CDBG to have our first public hearing for the grant application. So with that, once the application is almost 90% complete, and I say 90% complete because first it takes the passage of this, then filling out the application. But the next thing on the list is public comment. This is a new requirement under CDBG. So what will happen is we'll take and post the draft application to our website, and we'll put it in for public comment from the 22nd to the 26th of May. It'll be open for public comment. So we'll keep that as a registry as we've met that component of the grant based on what we receive. So that's the gist of it. And if the ladies don't have anything to say, I think that's pretty clear on what we're doing. Most people are very familiar with the Ladies of Charity Pantry, food pantry.
Yeah, I do want to say a couple of things. I go over there on a regular basis. I'm not there all the time. I do go over there and mess with all the volunteers and so forth. And it's an unbelievable service. And when you go over there, you see the Thanksgiving or Easter, whatever, and you see the lines of families that are getting food that they would not have gotten if it wasn't for this organization. And to be located right in North Beach within the community is something to be said for how lucky we are to have them here. You know, when this was presented to me, I'm like, we'll definitely support it. You know, I don't see why we wouldn't. And that's why you'll see it on here. We have multiple items to go through when it comes to this block grant tonight, but there's a purpose behind it. They need our support. After they've given our community the support for years now, for over 30. I think it's time that we step up and offer our support. So I just want to make sure it's known that I truly appreciate the organization and I enjoy every time I come over there. It's a good time. So council, you'll have anything to say?
I went over and spent some time with them before the polar bear plunge because they were the recipients of the polar bear plunge, and they're a well-oiled machine, I'll tell you that. They know what's going on and they take care of it all. And it's not just for people in our community. You take care of people outside the community, and it's for everyone.
Right into opening up the public hearing for Town of North Beach. Town of North Beach fiscal 24 budget, and I will turn it over to Joanne again, our town treasurer.
Okay, let me use my outdoor voice again. So it's the FY 24 budget that has been posted on the screen for a couple weeks now. And I'd like to review a few items in it that to bring to your attention. First off, I'd like to note that we're not increasing taxes. We're going with the constant yield tax rate, and that proposed rate is 0.5695 per 100 of assessed value. We've consistently gone with the lower rate, which is the constant yield rate every year. So you should feel secure that we're not raising your taxes. Also, this year, we'd like to say, and I believe this to be true, and Mayor, you might want to contradict me if I'm wrong, but I believe that the Calvert County Commissioners are still using the 0.336 differential for all North Beach residents. That's a reduction in your county tax bill by 0.336 per 100, because we provide services that the county does not provide for you. So they reduce your tax bill by that amount, just so that you understand what that is. And the history of the constant yield, we've been going with the constant yield rate for, I want to say off the top of my head, since before 2010. But I know for the last 5 years, we've consistently gone with the lower rate. So if anyone wants any information on that, that's available, and we like to use more information, the better. Okay, for the constant yield rate, there's a net assessable real property base that we get from the state, and this will blow your mind, because it blew mine. Town of North Beach proper, all the assessments in town total $297 million for the town of North Beach. That's a lot. And it's increased each year. So with that, we have the potential revenue of the 1,655,000, which goes again, we're going with the constant yield rate. We're not using the old rate, which could be considered an increase in taxes. So we're actually lowering your tax rate. Part of the trash, the general fund is trash. And I believe that's been tabled for discussion for the June 1st work session. So that's not included in your budget as of today. And then there's just a few highlights that I like to go through. And then if anyone have any specifics, I can address those. One of them is state highway user funds. The town is a beneficiary of that. And for this year, FY 24, it'll be $161,000 that they contribute for the services that we provide. And that's done through your fuel tax and some other, they have a calculation. It's a huge calculation that they use, but they send us a letter and that's our portion. Next most appealing thing would be the gambling revenue. And this year we increased it. We've been conservative in our rates for the last 4 years. We used the last 3 years, but we did not use 2020. We skipped 2020 due to the pandemic, and that just distorted what we had seen in the past. So we used 2019, 2021, and 2022. So you'll reflect it in the budget is $455,000 from gambling revenues. There was no increase to the beachfront waterfront fees, and that's for the general fund revenue. So that's the highlights of it. Here's some of the lowlights, which are the expenses. There is a 7% COLA for all town employees. That's the same rate that the Calvert County is doing with their employees. So we're not asking for any more, but we're just asking for equal. And that's proposed in here. There is a new position in the general fund that the mayor is requesting, and that's for a town administrator. And then there's a temporary receptionist at the front desk at the town hall. You may have met her. If not, you should, because Roxanne seems very personable. And she's at the front desk for, I know, at least another 3 to maybe 3 months. Well, till the end of June. Could be longer. So she's at least here till the end of June, but we don't know what's going to happen. So we have money in the budget for a temp should something happen. That's the basics of that one. There was an increase in the North Beach Fire Department. We do donate to them annually. It has been $6,000 in the past. This year it's going to be $8,000. And one of the items that people may not know how much it costs is mutt mitts. And you see them down there. You have little stations all over. Phil does a wonderful job on the waterfront. We purchase more than $10,000 in mutt mitts annually. I mean, and when you see people getting mutt mitts and they don't use them, it's discouraging, but there are many that do use it. So think about that, $10,000 in mutt mitts. Anyway, just something to think about. Public safety, we received an increase in the public safety. It's a contract we have with the Calvert County Sheriff's Department. This year, we're seeing an increase of $52,913 from the previous year. So that's reflected in your general fund budget. And no changes to the debt service. That remains the same. So no intention to increase the debt service. We're just trying to pay the debt service down. That's the gist of the general fund. Now let's get into the water and sewer. And I hit on this last week. Some of the items that are looking at for sewer is the wastewater treatment plant. And I just want to give you a summary of what we're dealing with. And we're constantly working with Chesapeake Beach, who is the operator of the plant, but one of the 4 partners. There's Chesapeake Beach, North Beach, Anne Arundel County, and Calvert County are 4 partners in the wastewater treatment plant. Chesapeake Beach, as the operator, proposes the upcoming budget. In their proposed budget for FY24, and rest assured, we're still under discussion, there's a large increase in administrative costs from $38,000 to $76,000. There's an engineering professional fees increase from $30,000 to $52,000. And utilities at the plant went from $250,000 a year to $413,000 a year. That's a 65% increase over the prior year. So with that, there's an addition of a reserve fund. Reserve fund was initiated when plant began back in 1990 when it started construction. We have an agreement that goes back to then. And the fund was supposed to be funded then by our 4 partners. So Chesapeake Beach is proposing they fund it all in this year coming, FY24. We're saying that's way too much money. That's $133,000 to our residents. We're saying that's too much. Why can't you haven't had it all this time? Why can't you spread it over the next 3 years? to reduce the impact to our citizens and their citizens. I don't know if you had the opportunity to watch that video that's on YouTube from Chesapeake Beach, but it'll enlighten you a little bit. It did the council. So we're still in discussions. And we'll keep fighting for our residents as we get through the wastewater treatment plant issues. The next thing I would want to point out that there was an increase to the rates for the sewer fund based on what we received from Chesapeake Beach. You have to know that the only increase that the town proposes is the 7% increase to wages. And that's not a large impact to the sewer fund. It's minor. What's the biggest impact is the wastewater treatment plant. So like I said, we're still in discussion. This is not solid, but I have to come up with a plan that addresses this until we know differently. Those rates can be found in the back page of this document, and they're on page 19 of this document. But just to give you an example, the sewer, and we go down every year in our minimum because we're trying to reach that conservative water conservation plan goal. And last year it was 4,000 gallons. This year, the reduction would be to 3,000 gallon minimum. And then based on that, for every 1,000 gallons, and I said 1,000 gallons over, it'd be $13 per 1,000. So the base would increase from $126 to $172. And it would be $13 for every 1,000 over. And that's based on the rates that we're seeing from the sewer plant. So let's talk about the water. The water would see, again, the reduction, water and sewer go together. The minimum would reduce to 3,000 gallons. The water base would go from $42.20 to $50 minimum, and a $9 for every 1,000 gallons over the 3,000 gallon minimum. Those are the proposed rates. That's the basis for these. Not a lot of changes, but the most drastic is the sewer fund. And I've explained that, and we're working on it. So you'll be updated as we can provide more information. The next would be the grants. And you have your capital budget. Your capital budget is $2,423,000. In that, we have $305,000 in grant revenue. We propose MLGIP reserve funds contribute $249,000. And we use the ARP monies that we received, $1,868,000. Of that money, you'll see a list of projects that we plan to use and complete within FY24. And I don't think you want me to go through each and every plan, project plan, but if you have any questions between myself, Mr. Bowen, and the mayor, we can all answer your questions regarding what's planned for the capital project. I think most of what you see in the explanations here, and then what you see on the page, pretty much explains what we plan for the capital project budget. That is the gist of your FY24 budget proposed. And like I said, I believe we have a work session coming up. It wasn't anticipated, but we have to have one June 1. We're going to be talking about trash and solidify, hopefully, this wastewater treatment plant budget.
Absolutely. She nailed it on the head. We pushed it from tonight for trash. Our focus at the work session will be the trash cans and recycling cans and so forth. And then we will update you on where we stand with the water and sewer budget, and, just give you some more information, at least as much as we have at that point. But either way, you'll have every bit of information we can make a decision on. And then the following week, we would be voting on it. So bring your questions. I think Joe has done an amazing detailed job on this budget, many hours, many Saturdays. I tell you, she really broke it down to explain it in detail so everybody can read it and understand it. So thank you, Joe.
You're welcome. Appreciate it. And it's a pleasure. Okay.
All right. Anybody have any questions for? No. And again, we're going to have a work session, the first Thursday, as always, in the month of June. And if you have some more questions, bring them, email them, get them into us. We will answer them as quick as possible to get them back to you. All right, let's go ahead and close the public hearing for the Town of North Beach fiscal 24 budget and move right into our council meeting, opening of our council meeting for May 11th, 2023. We're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Can we all stand, and Kristen will leave our
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Roll call.
Mayor Benton.
Here.
Mr. Dotson. Here. Mrs. Healy.
Here.
Mr. Hummel.
Here.
Ms. Cavler. Here. Mr. Truncone. Here on Zoom. Mr. Wilcox.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, can I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? We have a motion. Do I have?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
There you go. Let's move right into the motion to approve minutes from the April 13th, 2023 Town Council meeting as presented.
So moved.
So moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
And Mr. Mayor, I need to abstain. I wasn't there, so.
So we have 5 ayes and 1 abstain. All right, still carries. Thank you so much. Let's move into motion to approve the minutes from the May 4th, 2023 Town Council work session as submitted or presented. So moved. We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye. The hand part's for Councilman Troncone, so. Now, schedule appointments. I'm sure Mr. Bradford has been waiting all day for this. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the new CEO of Calvert Health, Jeremy Bradford. He's here to introduce and tell us about some good stuff.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, council members. I consider it both an honor and a privilege to be standing before you all tonight. Not only as a new present CEO to Calvert Health, but also a new member to the community. My wife and I, we have 2 beautiful children, Maggie Beth and Turner, who are 14 and 10, who have already entrenched themselves into the community, and we're so excited to be here, serving beside each and every one of you all, and more than 1,100 members that we have within our organization. As you probably already know, Calvert Health is the largest private employer in Calvert County, and we take that very seriously. And with that, we're always on the cutting edge as far as making advancements within our organization. And since I started in the organization, working and partnering not only with the executive team that we have, but the more than 1,100 staff members, but our board, and developing a strategic plan that's going to allow us to position ourselves for success for the next 3 to 5 years. So I wanted to share a couple exciting updates with you all tonight as we all embark on this endeavor together. Thank you. Sorry about that. I don't have an outdoor voice usually. So. But it's officially about 70 days on the job, and I've hit the ground running, going out and, to be quite honest with you, just listening and hearing what not only the stakeholders have been saying in the community to me, but also within the walls of the hospital, our employees, because at the end of the day, they're your most valuable asset. As well as it's important for me to understand what's important to our community members to ensure that we're doing what's best for our community. So the number one thing that I heard as the new president CEO is the importance of collaboration and partnership. And that's why I'm here tonight. And that's what you're going to see out of me moving forward within our organization. You probably have already witnessed it as well as experienced it over the years. But I can assure you that my commitment to you is to ensure that we're very transparent, honest, and we're always going to collaborate, and we're always going to be there to serve you and the members of the community. So with that, we're putting forth a strategic plan. So we're in the midst of that strategic plan as we speak. We hope to wrap up our strategic plan and present it to our board of directors around the August, September timeframe. So I've already shared with you as far as the initiatives that we're putting forth, but also I think it's important to let you know that we have partnered with a national expert, Chartis, who is helping us with our strategic plan to ensure not only are we understand what's going on locally, but also what's going on within the country and the healthcare landscape. So we have engaged already 50 stakeholders in the community. We held our first one of 4 committee meetings that's made up of physicians who are intimately involved in our strategic plan because they are the key drivers along with our mid-level providers and our staff in moving our organization forward. And then 2, I'll let you know that not only is the steering committee involved, but also we're providing regular updates to our board to ensure that they're well aware as to what's going on and to ensure that the board members that are represented on the steering committee are being able to offer their remarks to ensure that our board has the information they need and be prepared for a vote in around that September timeframe. So more to come on the strategic plan, but I really feel like it's an exciting time for us with this strategic plan because it is going to take into account feedback from the community, our employees, the physicians, and key stakeholders within Calvert County. Also, as if that's not enough with the strategic plan, because you can also appreciate the heavy lift that a strategic plan includes, is our community health needs assessment. So every 3 years, we conduct a community health needs assessment to ensure that we're meeting the needs of our community and we understand what the needs of our community are. So launching this coming week on the 15th of May, we'll be starting our community health needs assessment in partnership with the health department. And, you know, as I shared with you earlier, we talked about collaboration and partnerships, how important those are for our success. So we've engaged closely with the health department. We value the health department. We appreciate what they bring to the table, and we view them as a key member of us as we embark on this work together. So more to come on that as far as the needs assessment and with what the health department's doing with us. But you're going to be hearing about a number of town halls and informational sessions that are going to be conducted. We've already have some scheduled with Asbury, the Senior Center, and Bethel Way of the Cross, and others that will be coming soon. So a lot of involvement, a lot of engagement, as well as surveys that will be going out to ensure that anyone who wants to provide input to our community health needs assessment has that opportunity. So more to come on that, but really excited about what that's going to mean for us. And this is a requirement with the Centers of Medicare and Medicaid. And we want to make sure not only that we are adhering to that, but we're exceeding the expectations. And just to give you a perspective as far as the past needs assessment, what did it identify? So it identified cancer care, which is very important to us, especially with the work that we have going on right now in partnership with Duke Health. Also, obesity. We have started a weight management bariatrics program as a result of the need in our community with regard to obesity and weight management services, and then also mental health. And we've developed a partnership with Shepherd Pratt around the mental health services. So we are embarking on the current needs and trying to understand, are those needs still similar today? And so we'll know more around that as the time comes whenever we wrap up our community health needs assessment in the months to come. And then lastly, I just wanted to share with you how appreciative we are of the partnership that we have here in North Beach, as well as in Chesapeake Beach with our providers, Dr. Stoner, as well as Tina Atkins, who actually are positioned right next door to us and actually see well over around 8,000 visits annually. And that's up from what we've seen in previous years. So we're really working hard with them to ensure that we have the appropriate access, as well as determining ways that we can further expand services and access to care here in North Beach. So I've had the opportunity to visit with both of our providers and staff there, and I can tell you, as you probably already know, they are top notch and they're really committed to this community as we are. So as your new president CEO at Calvert Health, I want you to know that I have an open door policy. I'm always available, and I welcome your input and your involvement in our organization. And thank you for your ongoing support.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Bradford?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. Thank you all.
Absolutely. Come back down
Will do.
all the time.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's move right into the North Beach Town Limit Report. That's you. He's going to go ahead and give a quick update, but I do want to point out a couple of things on the calls for service. The check welfare, there's, you know, we've we've used the deputies a couple, maybe that's the wrong word, but we've worked with them and we've had them go out when we have concerns over residents. And I can't, welfare checks. And I can't tell you how many times, they showed up, they make it happen. And luckily, thank God, to this point, it's been fine. The senior just didn't feel like coming out for a couple of days, but the neighbors were worried. So I want to thank you for that. It's nice to know when resident come by the house, Mayor, you got to go check on this person. I just make the phone call and your deputies are there. So I really appreciate that.
Sure. Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
You can take over from there.
I don't really have much to report. April was pretty quiet. You'll see in the report, we only had a few arrests, and those were nothing major. So if you have any questions, I don't really have much to add. I understand that you received the victim impact statement for the graffiti
We did.
for the court, so hopefully we can get reimbursed from that. But
Absolutely. Obviously you never want that to happen, but it all worked out the way it was supposed to work out. So thank you so much. The vandalism was, it was pretty bad, but it was taken care of. And the individuals that caused it, we will continue to watch that out there in town, and it's good to have you guys on board. Any questions, council, from the Twin Beaches patrol report?
Yes. I've already talked to you a little bit about this, but we are in the busy season and we got a lot of people coming into town, a lot of pedestrians, visitors, walking. Do you have any measures in place with the speeding on Bay Avenue and Chesapeake Avenue and the crosswalks?
yeah, and you had mentioned the that one particular spot heading out of town into Anne Arundel, and that is a chronic problem. So much so that the mayor actually asked us to do a speed study there in the summer of 2021, and we put a hidden camera there just to try and document recording people's speeds and everything, and that was interesting. It actually showed not a lot of people speeding, but occasionally someone would come through there at 70 miles an hour. Like the speed limit's 30 there. People would do about 30 all day long, and then out of nowhere it'd be just one random person, like, going at high speeds. But you're right, and I apologize for that. That is a spot that we have been putting our spare car, call it our ghost car there, hoping that would help out a little, but we can go out there and, it's really no problem. More radar there and write some tickets. That's.
And you'll see the deputies around at different locations, stop signs and so forth. And we do rotate it, but if you do have a concern, reach out. We just have so many stop signs in so many areas that, they'll get them on one street, but then they're over on another street doing it.
Right.
So definitely it's picking up next week. Our season opens up Memorial Day weekend, it goes to Labor Day, and we will have a massive influx. So whatever your deputies can do, when you hear something like this, please do it. I do believe the ghost car is working. I've heard it from people. I've heard people say they see it the last second and they stop. They really are. I think it's working to a point that I'm glad y'all are doing it, and just keep moving it. Just keep moving it. I know Gary's getting a little exercise out of it, or maybe you are.
Yes, yes, sir. Yeah, but we can definitely up our game and start pulling some more traffic. That's no problem.
Yeah,
at all.
I do think the ghost car is working. And I also think it can work against people too, because people obviously know at this point, they're like, nobody's sitting there.
Right.
So they are going to start doing some crazy stuff, but maybe we catch them when we're sitting in there one day.
No.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Okay. Yeah, no.
Thank
no
you.
problem there.
I actually just have a follow-up to Mary's question. So, Mary also asked about, what extra measures you are considering putting in place for the crosswalks. So like at Seventh and Bay and Seventh and Chesapeake.
Yes, actually, the mayor brought this up to me. We actually did a crosswalk enforcement a few weeks ago out in the area of the North Beach Fast Stop in that area. And we got several cars. I sent an email to the mayor just saying how many cars we pulled over. Just in a few hours' time, I think we had 18, 19 people, but that wasn't just for crosswalks. That was for talking on their phones, not having a seatbelt on, whatever else we could catch. But I told the mayor I would keep him posted whenever we set up any kind of a sting like that to enforce the the crosswalks and so on. But like you said, it's that time of year. And we're just gonna have to up our game and start pulling a lot more traffic out there. So.
Thank you.
We did, last week, met with a traffic or I guess, traffic company myself. I know Rick Crump was there and DB, and then Joe was there, and we had them go through looking at the stop signs, or excuse me, the crosswalks, and we stood at different distances and see it. And, you know, it's frustrating when you try to cross a crosswalk and people won't stop. But when you stand back and you look, our crosswalks are well marked. You can see them, I mean, from 2 blocks away. And one of our issues in our town, if it was the same people day after day, we would see more traction. But because there's always new people in our town, we're just going to have to continue to monitor, continue to have the deputies there. There is no solution. We had this professional come there and he goes, they're clear. You can see it. You've done what you can do. They're legal. So we're going to continue to monitor, try to come up with some ideas and just keep the enforcement going with the ghost car. And the ghost car works for the strangers. We have every day. I mean, half the people coming to our town have never been here. So the good news is it is working for those. For a lot of us, we know it's there now. But the crosswalks are going to continue to be a high priority. We're going to continue to clean up the markings, the striping near the stop signs. We're going to continue to do that with DPW as we go through the year or the season. And so I'm hoping we can do the best we can, but we just need people to obey the rules.
And also I can offer to the council, if you ever want to ride with us and really see what's going on, and do a ride along with us and
Uh-oh. There goes Mary.
anytime. Well,
All right.
anytime, just shoot me an email, call me, whatever. We'll
Thank
set
you
it up.
so much. Any other questions for Joe, Lieutenant? Nope. Thank you so much.
Right, thank you.
I know, hold on, time out. I'm sorry. Paul, you have a question?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, now we can hear you.
Okay, great. Less of a question, just more of a statement. Lieutenant Hollinger, just wanted to thank you and your deputies for last Friday. It was the first Friday, and it was great to see the officers out there interacting with people and kind of doing community policing. And I think that really just makes a huge difference in kind of controlling the crowd and just also making people more aware of police presence and so forth. So thank you for all the great work there and keep it up.
Yeah, thank you, Councilman. Yeah, I understand there were no arrests, so it was a
It's a good
great
night.
event.
Thank you. All right. Code enforcement, I mean, Rick's on here, but because he's not here, I'm just going to go, the report is in here. If you have any questions for him, you got his email, give him a call, reach out to him. Marketing and public relations, I'm going to move right to Dawn. I know, you're doing a great job. Thank you. Thank you, Rick.
So I just have 2 things to mention. As Mr. Bradford was talking about collaborating and partnering, we partnered with Calvert Health Department yesterday. I don't know if anyone saw, they had their mobile outreach van on Bay Avenue. And the ladies there said it was a success. They completed multiple blood pressure readings and A1C screenings. They provided a lot of education and resources, and even, gave the people that they saw a plan and probably doctors that they could visit and things like that for follow-ups. And they would like to return this summer. So we'll be talking to them about coming back and hopefully servicing more of our residents then. And the other thing is, I just wanted to mention that the Calvert Library is doing a survey to poll the residents about the types of events that you might want to see at the new library when they open, and also how they're looking forward to using the building. A link to that survey is on our website and also Calvert Library's website. So.
And for all of our events that we do in town, ones that we do, we sponsor, ones that we bring like Calvert Health and even stuff for the library, whoever, we put it out there, email blast. So if you know people that are not getting information, go to northbeachmd.org, sign up to get text messages and emails, and they will know what they need to know. So thank you, Dawn.
Mhm.
Any questions for Dawn before I move on?
A date for the,
See, I put stuff on our Facebook.
Mhm. Mhm. For the survey, do you mean? I don't think they put an end date on there, but I can I can ask and get that for you.
DB, turn the microphone on. There you go.
Good evening, everyone. Real quickly, I just want to say that, April 17th, Bayland Consulting Group, they came down and a quick update. They did their public meeting for the compound flood plan for the town. It was about a 200-page report. So we asked them to come down and part of their contract, they did a PowerPoint presentation and they went over all the highlights and went over the plan in detail. And it was a good night. We had time at the end for questions. And I want to publicly thank the flood committee for doing a great job, and also Councilwoman Kabler, who helped me out immensely on that plan. There was a ton of work that went in there. He started way back. I can't even remember when they started now. But they did this plan. They came together. They went out, got all the technical data, put everything together. And like I said, they presented that on April 17th to the residents and businesses. The schedule, we did also allow for email questions up till May 1st. We got several questions came in. We had a flood committee meeting Tuesday where those questions were then sent up to Bayland, and they answered the questions on Tuesday for the residents. And the final plan is due to be to the town June 1st. Like I said, again, I want to thank the flood committee. They were a ton of help on this project, and also Councilwoman Kabler was great as a liaison, and really this was a project we've been looking for forever. Now we'll have our plan for our grants and furthermore. So, anyone have any questions for me? Thanks.
All right, thank you, DB. All right, let's move into Town Clerk, Stacy.
The plan, I'm sorry, no one heard me. Updating the comprehensive plan. The survey is out till May the 24th. Cece, I know you're going to ask. I'll send you the link to it. It's on our website. And I did send it to all the council today for the website, so please take the survey.
Thank you. Any questions for Stacy? All right. Joe. Keep focusing on the budget. Keep doing thank you. Phil. Waterfront Parks Manager.
Good evening. How's everybody doing?
Good.
I really don't have anything to add to the report. I'd just like to, we did have the opening of the Nature Center back on the 22nd. It went very well. I'd like to thank, everybody from Public Works and Conservation who helped get that going. That turned out to be great, and saw a lot of you there. We did have the community cleanup on the 29th. Had 10.5 dumpsters there on Dayton. From what I understand, the new location worked out a lot better than the last one. So
That was good.
We'll kind of stick with that. Just a couple of things. We will have the soft opening of the beach on the weekend of the 20th and 21st. We'll use that mostly for a training. And then we will go full time Memorial Day weekend. It's Saturday morning. But just like every season, I just want to let everybody know that, the first couple of weeks will typically be the craziest. So, expect some issues with marijuana, possibly disorderly, alcohol thing, but that's just like and then those will go away quickly. But that's about it. Any questions?
You get a chance, get down to the waterfront. Phil has made a lot of changes, improvements, and I think you'll be happy with what you see. I feel very confident that we're going to have a great season. We do have some new challenges this year come July 1, but I believe Phil and the staff will be more than ready to handle it. So if you get a chance, run down there. Council?
I just noticed with the release of the water park rates being a little bit high, I could see us getting an influx.
Yeah, and I agree. And I've said that too, a big influx.
So
But, you know, we should be fine, but I can see us reaching capacity quite a bit.
So
People still have to make their reservation online, right?
They,
Or-
well, or they can pay at the window.
Okay.
Yes, but they could end up coming and it being full.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay.
But we'll post that online as soon as it fills up and try to get them informed as best we can, but yeah.
we promote the daylights out of Click Tickets. We do everything we can with signage, throwing it out there, putting it on social media. It pretty much goes everywhere. So our goal is to drive people to Click Tickets because then we can understand and know the numbers that are coming in. I think we'll see an influx, but a water park versus a beach, the water park is not the beach is not the water park. And what really went up a lot was the season ticket. So we'll see what happens when, but they'll be ready for it because him and I've talked about it about 2,000 times now. So they'll be ready. Any other questions?
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say that we try to push people to the Click Tickets app because if they're at capacity, it will say no more tickets available for today. So they don't make their trip down to the beach and get turned away. So that's why we want everyone to go online to get the ticket. So.
Thank you so much. All right, let's move right into public comments and public comment guidelines. The town of North Beach welcomes public comment. Please step to the podium, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes. If joining via Zoom, you can email them to us or put them in the chat box. We'll go ahead and give it a second. And if for some reason you forget something, you didn't think about it, shoot it in. We have multiple ways you can email, go on our website. You can also go to our app called North Beach Access, and you can email it directly to the department you want to. Every Tuesday, I sit down with staff and we review every email and every comment that came in for the last 7 days. Review it to make sure the department heads or department has taken care of them. Most stuff we get is spam. You know, everybody wants to rebuild our website or something crazy. But staff has been on it. I have not caught them yet, not returning the email. So, all right, let's move on to a lot of work here. Here we go. Stacy, I'll probably need your help with some of these. Let's roll. All right, we're going to move right into number 8, ordinance and resolutions. Some of this might contradict itself if you look at it. 4 of these or 3 of these are for the block grant. So just be patient, council. So the first one is ordinance 23-03, an ordinance of the Council of North Beach repealing and reenacting chapter 112, water and sewer policy rules and regulations relating to the provision of water and sewer services, and provide for adoption by resolution of water and sewer manual containing policies, rules and regulations relating to such services, and to provide for fines and penalties relating to noncompliance with terms thereof. We're voting on this tonight. This is something that's been up for the last couple of months. You've seen it. You've been presented with it many times, so it will not come new to you. What I do need is a motion to adopt ordinance 23-03, and I'm gonna read it again.
You don't,
I don't-
it's for if someone else can make the motion and read that.
Excuse me. Yes.
Okay, I'll make the motion. I make a motion to pass ordinance 2303, an ordinance of the Council of North Beach repealing and reenacting chapter 112, water and sewer policies, rules and regulations related to the provision of water and sewer services, and provide for the adoption and resolution of water and sewer manual containing policies, rules and regulations related to such services, to provide for fines and penalties relating to the noncompliance with the terms thereof.
Second.
Good job, Ken. He's an attorney. All right. Do we have a motion?
Second.
Councilman Dotson, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, he's live now. All right, cool. So moved. Let's move on to the next one. All right. Resolution 23-01, a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland, and adopting a water and sewer manual setting forth the town policies, rules and regulations relating to the provisions of water and sewer services. We need a motion to adopt resolution 23-01.
Motion to adopt resolution 23-01. Then I need to read through that, correct?
Yes.
Making sure. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach of Maryland adopting a water and sewer manual, setting forth the town's policies, rules, and regulations relating to the provision of water and sewer services.
We have a motion by Mickey.
Second.
We have a second by Lauren. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so moved. Thank you so much. All right, next one, ordinance number 23-04, an ordinance of the Council of North Beach amending the Code of Town of North Beach, Chapter 69, licensing, Article 1, general provisions to amend Town of North Beach business license requirements and procedures. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve ordinance number 23-04, an ordinance of the Council of North Beach amending the code of the town of North Beach, Chapter 69, licensing, Article 1, general provisions to amend the town of North Beach business license requirements and procedures.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Wilcox, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
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 All right. Thank you so much. So moved. All right, we're getting there. Ordinance 23-05, an ordinance amending North Beach Town Code, Chapter 69, licensing, Article 2, rental licenses, 69-14, licenses required to establish a new timeline within which to obtain a rental license inspection and to amend 69-16 inspections to incorporate the requirements of Maryland's reduction of lead risk in housing law. I need a motion.
Move to accept ordinance 23-05, an ordinance amending North Beach Town Code, Chapter 69, licensing, Article 2, rental housing licenses, 69-14 licenses required to establish a new deadline within which to obtain a rental inspection and to amend 69-16 inspections to incorporate the requirements of Maryland's reduction of lead risk in housing law.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second, a second.
All right. Mary, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So moved. All right. Thanks for your patience. Knocking out some stuff. Resolution 23-02, a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland, to apply for a grant under the Maryland Community Development Block Grant Program for the construction of the Ladies of Charity of Calvert County Food Pantry. Need a motion?
A motion to approve resolution 2302, a resolution of the mayor and town council of North Beach, town of North Beach, Maryland, to apply for a grant under the Maryland Community Development Block Grant Program and construction of the Ladies of Charity of Calvert County Food Pantry.
Second.
All right. Ken motion, Mickey second. Any discussion? Please, all in favor, please signify by saying aye and raising your hand.
Aye.
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 Perfect. Thank you so much. So moved. All right. All right. Resolution 23-03, a resolution, the mayor and town council, hold on. I just read that one, didn't I just?
No.
Nope,
No.
never mind. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland, to adopt the Community Development Block Grant Guide for Citizens Participation Plan. Motion?
Motion. You got it, Lauren? Go for it.
Sure.
Go.
Motion to adopt resolution 23-03, a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland, to adopt the Community Development Block Grant Guide for Citizen Participation Plan.
We have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Mary, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Raise your
Aye.
hand.
Aye.
There you go. Thank you.
Putting out the talking tonight.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
Tonight.
We're rolling. All right, next one. I think, hold on.
The
Yes.
last one.
Last resolution.
No, it's,
Nope,
nope. it's
nope,
not.
got two more. Oh, yes, last resolution, Mr. Wilcox, you are correct. Resolution 23-04, a resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland to adopt the community development block grant guide for residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance program. Can I have a motion?
Motion to approve resolution 23-04. A resolution of the mayor and town council of the town of North Beach, Maryland to adopt the community development block grant guide for residential anti-displacement and relocation assistance plan.
Second.
All right, Mickey, second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Thank you. Last one. Ordinance 23-6, an ordinance adopting operation budgets for the general fund, sewer fund, water fund, capital projects fund, and community conservation fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024, fiscal year 2024. This is an introduction. I need an introduction of the ordinance. So that's,
So just someone make, introduce the ordinance.
Move to introduce ordinance 23-06. An ordinance adopting operating budgets for the general fund, sewer fund, water fund, capital projects fund, and community conservation fund for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 23, ending June 30th, 24, FY 24.
got a motion second.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Great job, everyone. Thank you so much. All right, let's move right into business items, which is blank. Let's go into mayor reports. I'll be real quick. I want to thank you for everybody's patience tonight. I know we had a lot to get through, but we've had a lot of activity the last couple of months that we finally got to clean up. There's a lot of great things going on in the town right now, and just keep your eye open. Staff is working hard. A lot of moving parts right now. And as we gear up to go into the season to welcome our guests to our town, our job is going to get a little bit more difficult. But when you get a chance, for those who are listening, for who watch recording, we have a banner downstairs in the lobby. And I hope whoever hadn't signed it yet, when we went into COVID, I think sometimes we forget what COVID was. It was tough. Staff stepped up. I can remember making phone calls, having calls 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night with staff 7 days a week. It was tough. So we put together a banner and we hung it up on a balcony. Dawn designed it, and it stayed out there throughout COVID. And then once COVID was, whatever the word is, over, or the state of emergency was lifted, we brought it inside. And then recently I thought about, I don't want to forget what we went through, because none of us have ever been through a pandemic before. And I hope we never do, but we lived through a pandemic. Not many people can say that. And we came out, I think we came out pretty darn good around here. Obviously we lost some lives, and that has no, I'm not talking about that. That's a bad thing. But so we hung the banner down in the lobby. We're trying to figure out where else we can move it, but we got to be careful where we put it. But if anybody can come in, sign it, just sign it. And what I want to do is, Grace Mary doesn't know this yet, but I like to put it over in a museum someplace, because I just don't want the town to ever forget what we did as a town. It was hard. It was hard. And let's not forget that. So whomever's in the audience today, if you don't mind, the 2 markers are down there, just sign it. We're open 8:30 to 4:30 every day. Come by, sign it. And that's all I have. Thank you so much. I like to go ahead and
Could I say something?
yes, I'm sorry. Yes.
As you were starting to talk about the banner, I was redoing my to-do list, and on my to-do list is the email blast to invite the public to come in and sign that. So I'll get to that sooner than later, and advertise that anyone can come in during our open hours and sign that. So I'll get that out soon.
Thank you. I
Mhm.
think it's important that we don't forget. All right, let's move into council reports. All right, we'll start with Mickey, since he was moving.
Yeah, right. Don't move, it won't see you. Thank everybody for coming out and joining us online. I want to thank Bill and the waterfront crew. I think there were 4 or 5 of them down there that day during the community cleanup. I know I frequented there, I think maybe 6 or 7 times because I had a bunch of brush that had fallen at my house that I wanted to get rid of, to put in the dumpsters. So I thank you for that. I feel like it was well attended for it being the first time back in a bit. I know I appreciated it. And then, other than that, I think I'm good.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. We had a pretty good crowd. Also, remind everybody that the spring resident guide is there's a hard copy in the town hall and the post office. There's a lot of good information in there. Also had a few people come to me about their increased water bill. And as I told them, they can contact Public Works. DB has a very sophisticated system that he can come out and take a look and see if you have anything leaking or running that shouldn't be running. So that's something, you should probably take care of. And then, of course, thanking everyone for coming out for Farmers Market, First Friday. It's always a successful event and everyone that works down on the boardwalk does a great job. So thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to a flip-flop summer here in the town of North Beach. I'm not going to talk about the flood stuff today. Donnie covered it. And I also do want to thank you though, Donnie, for your leadership on this. We couldn't have done this without you and your input, your engineering input and everything else. Really appreciate it. I think notice went out today to the community about the Dragon Boat sign up. So I don't know how many people are signed up right now other than me and Mary. Few others, but really,
Greg and I are there for support.
I can't, and trust me, I want to, but I'll get yelled at if I participate this year because I have to catch an airplane.
Oh, yeah.
okay.
Do the airplane.
So just urging the community, I mean, this is open to everyone, right? In North Beach, all the committees, volunteer committees, any staff here in the town who hasn't signed up yet and would like to, all of you in the audience. How many people, what's a good number to have on the team other than 3?
You
Or
have to
4?
have
You have to
19
You have to have 19.
and then there's 16 in the boat, I believe.
All right, so think about it. It's really a lot of fun. The town purchases a nice lunch for everyone afterwards. It's great. Great time.
And we beat Chesapeake Beach, but we won't bring that up right now.
Anyway, that's it. Thanks, everyone.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're probably scared.
They're scared of our 4 people.
Don't worry, this is not recorded, but go ahead.
Hey, we scared this much last year. They didn't have a boat.
That's
so-
right.
Oh, like, we win.
That's right. All right. Ken.
Thank you for everyone coming out. I had great time stepping in for the mayor when we had on Tree Day, on Arbor Day, the planting of the tree on behalf of Bill Poole. What is it called? The pin oak tree. That's what it is. And it is very nice. It is perfect type of tree for along the street right there because it grows thin and up, which is perfect. That doesn't bother the sight lines that are on the street, but it brings more trees in. And we do very well with our tree canopy for the size of our town. I believe we're pretty high up there in a percentage wise compared to other municipalities of equivalent or even bigger size. So that was good. And thank you, Mayor. I stepped in for you. And yes, please sign up for the Dragon Boat. When I came last year, Mickey and I did how many runs? 5, 6? You did 6. You did more.
I did 6. I think you did 5. And we were stealing from other teams,
Yes.
helping other teams as like a give and take.
We became pirates pretty much.
Yeah, it
Just
was
hire
fun.
us and then we'll sit in on your boat. So everybody come out. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Mayor. Just want to thank everyone for coming out and those that are attending via Zoom. So I will give my report. So the 90-day 2022 legislators session concluded midnight Tuesday, April 11, 2023. This year's session was the first time they had a full in-person session since 2019. I'll back up here a little bit. The report that I'm reading is a part of the Maryland Municipal League. And for you all that don't know, the Maryland Municipal League is a volunteer, nonprofit, nonpartisan group that represents 157 municipalities and 2 special taxing districts through advocacy. And this organization has been around since 1936, and it has several committees that help the 157 municipalities in the taxing district. This year, I had the pleasure of being the chairman of the legislative committee, and this committee had the pleasure of going through 294 bills. Of those, we supported 47. 26 of those passed. In the 29 bills, we had those that were amended. We had some that were amendments that had amendments. We supported with an amendment, and we got 16 of those passed. And we opposed 32 bills, and 29 of those did not get passage. And 3 of the bills did pass, were significantly amended such that they had a negative impact on the municipalities in the state. Unfortunately, our number 1 priority this year was the Police Accountability Board and charging committees. That did not move forward at all. It didn't get past the committees. They didn't even vote on it. But through our efforts, we did have some conversations on the local level. And so 40% of Maryland's counties now incorporate mandatory municipal representation in their police accountability boards. So this is good, because for those that don't have a board and they have police department, basically the county is telling you how to handle your things. But now they're a part of that, so which is a good thing. And for the first time in the history of the state, I'm proud to say that we were able to secure tax revenues for every municipality in the state of Maryland. Never before has this happened, that they've passed any bills that the towns will get a portion. So Joanne, you should be happy about that. However, that only affects us if we have a cannabis store in our town. So the way that works is, and I'll read a portion of this so you'll understand a little bit. So the bill establishes a regulatory and licensing system for adult use of cannabis, which includes parameters for sales, tax, and local zoning in support of the first strategic initiative, expanding municipal revenues sources to sell tax. I just mentioned for the first time in Maryland history, citizen towns will receive, it's going to be 2.5%. I think you all remember me saying a couple of months ago that if there were $1 million or so, we were only going to get $900. Well, it's increased a little bit. So it is $4,500 now. So we were able to negotiate that to get a little more. These couple of paragraphs are important. Zoning. The final bill states that municipalities may establish reasonable zoning and other requirements for dispensaries, but those requirements may not unduly burden a licensee. The quote phrase is not found in any other part of the Maryland Code as it pertains to zoning and licensed businesses. So this may be one of the issues that need clarification either through a court case or in a subsequent General Assembly session. The bill also sets a minimum distance that dispensaries may operate and certain other locations at least 500 feet from a school, daycare center, parks, libraries, or recreational centers, and at least 1,000 feet from another dispensary. However, a local government may, through an ordinance, reduce those distance requirement. This is likely another area that will probably require some clarification. And then finally, one that Joanne would appreciate, property tax, real property tax assessment, and tax rate increase notification requirements. This bill replaces the burdensome and confusing constant yield rate notice requirement with the property tax rate increase notice. Under the bill, public notices will be required when a local government actually increases their own property tax rate. So you won't have to talk about this anymore. You won't get any more notices from the state. They're not gonna do all that stuff. You won't have to push anything out, but only if we increase the taxes. No, I don't think anyone up here wants to do that. I don't think the mayor want to even bring that thought up, so. But that's it. That's my report. I'm glad it's over with and hope I don't have to do it again. Stacy's been a part of Stacy has been a part of this committee several times, so she knows that there's a lot of work that goes into it. So I'm glad it's over with.
Well, 1 second though, so he said how many bills that came in front of the legislative committee. But
Right.
how many bills were actually submitted? Do you have that number? I think it was like over 2,000.
Yeah, there were over 2,000. They did more this time than they've done in quite some time.
And that's in 90 days.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of committees, executive committees for MML, and I've always run from the legislative one. Thank goodness for Greg. But it's a lot of work. They go up there weekends. I mean, it's a lot of work that the council member put in for this legislative. So thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, it starts in September. We meet once, I think in September, and then we meet again like in December, but the real work starts when they go into session in January. We usually meet every Wednesday from January to the end of March and maybe a couple of weeks in April. So
Thank you so much.
Sure.
It helps us out. Trust me.
Yep.
All right, Councilman Troncone out there. Are you out there with Elon or are you by yourself? What are you doing?
I'm by myself. All right, thanks everybody for coming out. I second what the mayor just said in thanking Councilman Dotson for all his work on the legislative committee. I know it's a ton of work and it's really a great opportunity for our municipal government to get a voice in what's happening at the state level. So thank you for doing that. Also, shout out to the mayor for running a really great meeting today. I'm shocked that we're getting through this in just over an hour, given the significant agenda that was there. So great job with that. And that's all I have.
Thank you so much. On the agenda, you'll see all the events coming up. Please sign up northbeachmd.org. Get text messages and emails. Let's move right into, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
So
Second.
move. We got a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Raise your hand.
All right.
Aye.
So move. Thank you so much.